Hi, Stephen Green. Thanks so much for being here today.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
So, look, I brought you in today to talk about whether the album is really dead. But first, I just want to talk a little bit about you. You're the head of SGC Media, which is a very highly esteemed PR agency in Brisbane. You're also the Australian rep for Play MPE, which is a world-class music delivery platform. You're a legend all round. So what I want to ask you now is, can you tell me a fun fact about you, something we don't know?
The thing that you don't know about me is that I also moonlight as the vocalist in a 20-piece big band.
I did not know that. Well, I'm glad we had this interview. The cat's out of the bag.
Shh, don't tell anyone. This is not going anywhere.
It's going to be all over social. Sorry about that. So, look, we've been hearing in the industry circles for a while now that the album is dead. And got me thinking, do you think the album really is dead or not?
No, I don't think it is. I think any blanket statement about where the industry as a whole is going is not necessarily going to work for everyone. The music industry is as diverse as the music that it produces, and I think definitely in some genres, hip hop, certainly sort of more pop oriented genres. Certainly singles are the predominant format right now, but you try and tell a metal band that the album's dead and they'll laugh at you. You try and tell a country artist that the album's dead and they'll laugh at you. There's definitely no one rule that applies to war music.
Yeah, that's very true, and I think in my experience I've seen that when you have super fans, they want to consume whatever they can, and certainly when they're at a show, if that's all that's available to buy from that artist, then they're going to go ahead and do that, right?
That's right. I mean, and a physical product could be an album, it could be an EP. There's lots of different ways to skin a cat, and I think it all comes down to essentially what the artistic statement is that the artist really wants to make. And if that is a 12-track set of songs, then by all means put out an album. If it's simply one track that you want to put out, then there's no harm in doing that either. It's about letting the art dictate what the product is, not the other way around.
And what about, in terms of marketing campaigns, how important is it to be really innovative these days?
I think absolutely important. I think the more and more there's less media to go around. There's the media that we do have not necessarily reaching the entire population as they once did. A manager from the 80s once said to me that marketing was very easy back then. You'd go into Molly Meldrum and get it on Countdown. You'd walk into 2SM in Sydney and get it on the radio station in Sydney, and your marketing was done. So these days, though, it's all about lots of different media, lots of different outlets, whether it's socials, whether it's print, whether it's radio, and just getting a lot of small audiences and essentially making one audience of true believers that love your music rather than trying to get the entire country in one hit.
Yeah, it really has become a lot more complex, hasn't it? And just about the superfan, what are your thoughts on that? That's become an increasingly important sort of factor in an artist's career, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the thing about a superfan is that they're someone that's going to last with you for your career, whether you're whether you've got an album that has hits on it, or whether you've got an album that doesn't have hits on it, or whether you've got an album at all, as per the last question. The superfans are the ones that are going to go with you on the artistic journey and are interested in where you develop as an artist, whereas a lot of music, people that hear it on the radio, they bop along in their car and they're happy to listen to it, but they don't necessarily have that buy-in of what the artist is artistically trying to achieve. And once you've got that buy-in, not only is it more creatively fulfilling, but also you've got those fans that can help. They'll still be coming to your concerts in 10 years and 20 years' time, and that's really what you want as an artist, is a career that can keep going when the flash in the pan hits are gone.
That's very true. It's about longevity and sustainability really these days, I think, yeah. So let's try to sum that up. I like to come up with a bit of a tagline or sort of a summary of what we've just talked about. So something like a nugget of advice or wisdom that the artist can take away. I think something about the art, letting the art dictate. What did you say about that?
Yeah, no, I think definitely the takeaway is that it's about creating creating an artistic piece and then creating a marketing plan that bends to suit that piece rather than the other way around. I think too often in the past, artists have tried to fit their music into a box, whereas we should be building boxes to fit the music into.
Amazing. So, so true. Cool. So look, thanks so much for coming. I'm just going to throw a little fun question at you now. If you were stuck on a desert island and could only take one album with you, which one would it be?
One album. It would probably be, I'm going to go with Rhubarb Slow Motion.
Wow, I don't even know that record. Tell me a little bit about that.
Rhubarb, a Brisbane band from the late 90s, early 2000s. You'd know them you may remember them from their hit Exerciser that was big on Triple J in about 2000, and their second album was even better but didn't have the Hottest 100 entry attached to it, but it was a really great record and probably one of those ones that is, meant something at a certain point in life, and if I was on a desert island I'd probably get quite bored and want to revisit that point in life again. So
you want to revisit those memories.
That's right.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting to me today. I really appreciate it.
No worries, thanks.